2018 Cheyenne is the last Cowboy standing. A bull jerked me down and hit me in my face. I wasn't wearing a helmet. It hit me in my face. Broke over 30 bones in my face. That night, I had a 14-hour reconstructive facial surgery. Within 75 days, I came back to riding with a helmet on. There was 3 events left in the season. I came back, finished no worse than fourth at them 3 events, won the Velocity Finals, won the year-end of the Velocity, then came into the World Finals, finished 3rd at the PBR World Finals that year, and ended up like 15th in the world, 16th in the world. And then came back 2019, got to Cheyenne again to where I got hurt the very next year at the last Cowboy standing, and I won that event. Was PBR's last Cowboy standing at that event.
In the arena where he should have retired.
And then finished 3rd in the world that year.
Ooh, Lord. We're
What happened?
here.
I blacked out. Guys,
Where are we?
We're technically in Kobe's house. Yeah. You see all the banners hanging on the wall, Danny?
I see that a lot of champions,
lots of Lakers championships, maybe a Kings one up there, probably a few Taylor Swift banners.
Oh, I've been here before for a Summer X Games.
No, there's definitely a Taylor Swift banner hanging.
Is there really?
Yeah. Because she holds the record for the most like consecutive shows in there, something weird like that.
Every arena in the world, I'm sure.
But that's not why we're here today. Really? As you can see, I'm wearing a cowboy hat. Guys, we are live from, it's called the Crypto Center now. Crypto Dome, Crypto Center. Dan, Crypto?
Crypto Center.
Crypto.com Arena.
Crypto.com Arena. And that is Matt Leroy West?
It is, man. It is.
We just found out that he likes to be called Leroy.
I actually like to be called Matt or whatever, but Leroy's my middle name, so it is what it is.
And Matt you're kind of the face and host of PBR.
Yeah. I play a lot of different roles. I get to be the in-arena announcer in venues like this. I also, half of the year, I'm a television broadcaster, so I kind of do whatever they need me to do whenever they need me to do it, really.
That's not a bad gig.
I love it, man.
And not a bad organization to be doing that gig with.
No.
And then one of Monster Energy's favorite and PBR longtime running guy, hurt right now, but Chase Outlaw, we got you back. We got you back in the seat, brother.
Yes, sir. Good to be back.
How's that leg holding up?
It's attached.
It's attached by a rod?
Yeah.
And pins?
They put it back, put a rod from my knee to my ankle. In October, I broke my leg, tib and fib, compounded it, and put a rod and 2 pins.
We're gonna run. We're running some footage, as you can see on the screen here, of you, Chase, just from previous PBR outings. How's the recovery been?
Good. Been healing up good. I went and seen the doctor, and he gave me a good report. Just whenever I feel like I'm ready.
When do you think that'll be? I'm asking the question that all of us as PBR fans want to know, because I get it every week. When's Chase Outlaw coming back?
Man, at least another month.
Yeah.
He said my bone is healed up. He said, hey, 6 months right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And now he went back. It's been 12 weeks since I went to the doctor, and he looked at it. He said, you have the most remarkable healing ability I've ever seen. He said, this is good to go. And we're like, to full-fledged start working out now? He said, no, this is good to ride.
Really?
And I was like, really? I said, I can't even do a one-legged jump rope on it without it, hurting at that one of them pins and at the break. And I said, so I'm waited multiple injuries before. I've never come back too soon, and ain't no need now.
Yeah, that's smart, because I think that's where a lot of guys mess up. A lot of guys just want to hurry up and get back, and they want to get back, and they'll deal with the pain, because what people don't understand about our athletes is they're not making money. They're not guaranteed contracts. When they're sitting at home injured, they're waiting to get back to work so that they can make money to pay the bills. And so you see a lot of guys rush back. They get back too early, then they get hurt, and they're right back to where it all started. And it takes a lot of maturity in our sport to be able to do what you're talking about and just wait till the time's right. Good for you, man.
Because heck, today, right now, every one of us, we're as old as we've ever been, but as young as we'll ever be.
That's never heard that, but that's true. You're as old as you've ever been, Dan.
I'm feeling good. I did some yoga stretches this morning. 'cause I was pretty sore actually.
downward
Yesterday. I was
dog.
feeling the oldest I've ever felt actually when I first woke up. Now I'm feeling the youngest I've ever been.
Attaboy.
Brittney Palmer, how are you?
I'm good. You know, I just did a bunch of stem cells. I'm probably feeling the youngest I've ever felt. But
Freshly back from Colombia, and you look
we
great.
gotta get you to Colombia. Thank you.
What did you get done?
I have 165 million new stem cells in me from BioAccelerator, Colombia. Amazing experience. Second time going. You know that.
Are we going to get you on a bull?
Can I go on a bull? A nice one. A calf.
I'll do a little one. I don't know about the one Cowboy wants to do.
I don't know about that one. I've got pictures on my phone of little girls on some of the bulls that we'll see here this weekend. Believe it or not.
We're going to go back and check some bulls out after this. All right, let's kind of, we're here. We're in crypto, the old Staples Center, Kobe's house. But every year you guys come here, you sell it out.
Yeah.
2 nights in a row. It's like, I remember the first time I came here, I was like, where do all these people come from with cowboy hats?
It's nuts because you think downtown LA is the last place in the world you would think 40 bull riders would show up and sell out an arena this massive, but it happens. We do it in New York City, Madison Square Garden. You were there earlier this year. They come from everywhere because I think it's similar to like fighting. It's similar to what all of you have done in the extreme sports world as far as like these guys are doing something that should not be humanly possible to do with the ease that they do it with, you know? And I think that there's something fascinating about that. Doesn't matter where you live, doesn't matter what you do for a living, you're fascinated by greatness, right?
Yeah.
And so that's why people show up.
And let's talk about that. It starts in Madison Square Garden, one of the most iconic, arenas in the world. How many stops? How long is the season? What are the fun cities? What are the not so fun cities?
The season we're in right now, which is the individual season, guys competing by themselves, is 24 stops. And we started in November. We'll go through the end of May.
And we used to do that from January to November, but now we do that in...
Yeah, from November to May.
Yeah, from November to May.
But because now there's like teams. Half of the year is teams season. And so Chase is a part of a team
Right.
for half of the year. It gives these guys more opportunity to make money, but it also puts more wear and tear on the body.
How does the team work?
So there's 8 teams for the first 2 seasons, and now they're bringing in 2 more teams, so it'll be 10 next year. They'll have 5 active riders on a roster, and or 7 active riders on a roster, and then at an event, they would have 5 guys matched up with 5 guys from 2 different teams, go head-to-head challenges, this guy against this guy, and then best high aggregate on 5 head wins that game. And the next day, 2 other teams, and so they'd have 4 games that night. Next year, they'll have 5 games now, or maybe a bye one day. But then at the end of the weekend, who's ever 3-0 or 2-3, if there's a couple teams that's 2-3, there'll be a bonus round ride-off in the bonus round. So that's how that works. And there's 10 of them in the finals.
It's great because it's just like basketball, right? You've got your starting lineup. You've got 5 guys that you're going to put in the game today. Each one of those guys has to get on a bull. And what I love about it is for the casual fans, for somebody that's never seen our sport before, all they've got to do is show up. Like when we go to Nashville, it is crazy because Nashville's such a great sports city, right? Everybody knows it for music, but they've got the Predators, they've got the Tennessee Titans and things like that. And so they show up.
And Nashville's almost like the new Vegas to me.
It's crazy.
It's a fun place. And then they have those sporting arenas. I was there last year for the Supercross we did in the Titans football stadium. I mean, it's a football arena, but it's damn close to full.
What I love about it is now, like, if you're in Tennessee, you just show up and you know that Nashville's got a team. You don't have to know anything about the sport. Just cheer for your team. Same with any of the different teams throughout the league.
And that's who I'm with, is the Nashville Stampede.
And then explain to me how, like, a team, like the breakdown of a team, is it like a NASCAR breakdown? There's a team owner and a sponsorship?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we brought in a lot of very interesting characters to the ownership group, and every team has an owner. Then they'll go out and they'll hire a management team. They'll have a general manager. Then they'll hire coaches. And a lot of the coaches will go out and hire strength and conditioning coaches. I mean, it's just like every other professional team sport in the world. We're diving more and more and more into what can make these guys more successful, what can bring this to a bigger platform, and ultimately get more eyeballs on what these guys do for a living.
Let's talk about the bulls themselves. The bulls themselves are like basically athletes. The bulls have owners. The bulls are conditioned. The bulls get treated well. We were talking about that. The bulls have a good life.
Oh, man, they're treated better than we treat ourselves.
They're fed good.
It's true.
Oh yeah.
I like all the
What kind of
names too.
treatment?
Air conditioned, heated barns. I mean,
And then on a working night, the bulls are only running.
them sons live a life like Hugh Hefner. Living in
But
the
more
mansion
sex.
and laid up with cows. Any other when he ain't laid up in the barn, he's laid up with
I
cows.
don't think you laid up with a lot of cows. Just saying.
But yeah,
That's a pretty good retirement program, though.
heifers.
It is cool because, you know, most of the bull owners will tell you the first thing they do is go out and feed. The bulls get fed before the kids or they feed themselves. Like, that's priority number one, is getting out there, making sure the bulls are healthy, getting them fed to start the day. Then you can come back in, you can shower, you can get ready to go on about your business. But it's take care of those animals. That's the first thing they do, and the last thing they do before they go to bed is check on those animals. That is, and same with us here. That's the number one priority. There's a lot of misconceptions in the world, but at the end of the day, when you guys walk out of this building, you'll see where they back the trailers up. Our crew has taken dirt all the way out the back so that those bulls never step on concrete, because
That's a
concrete
lie.
gets slick.
I saw them run them into in
That's
Madison Square
different.
Garden,
That's
and they ran in
different.
on
But
concrete.
if you'll notice, the concrete has grooves in it.
It was actually
So-
quite. It was quite.
Fascinating.
It was.
Spiral.
It was Brittney's old boss, Dana White, has a bull,
Yeah.
Twisted Steely.
Cecile, yeah.
Is he coming here tonight?
The bull's not here this weekend,
Oh, I thought you meant Dana. I was like, I think he's kind of busy.
Dana's in Anaheim.
and his bull's busy too.
Yeah.
But we were there when Cowboy saw the bull. We the first time we watched Twisted Steely was in Vegas, in like October.
Yep.
And then at that point, I don't think Cowboy was considering riding the bull. And I don't know what happened in between that time. But come Madison Square Garden, he decided that he was going to ride the bull and it was going to be Twisted Steel. And we've made this, there's been a big buildup that PBR's done. But I was there when they brought Twisted Steel into Madison Square Garden. It was quite iconic. Like, you're in Madison Square Garden, where it's one of the most, sold out. Everyone, that's the arena you want to sell out, right?
It's the Mecca.
And then it goes back to the Knicks history. But then watching a Cowboy like reel in the bull or ride in the bull, and the bulls get loaded up by trailers, right?
Yep.
So it's like one by one they bring him in, and then for the first ever time, I think, watching Cowboy's face change from when he got to go face to face with Twisted Steel and him realizing that he's gonna have to ride this bull. I think for the first time he's like, what have I got myself into?
I feel like you and I were part of like this iconic moment that nobody's ever going to know about.
No.
In the back.
I have it all on video.
Same. Watching these bulls come up, and we're both standing next to Cowboy, and then that bull comes around the corner, and you can just, like, I felt like I was in a movie watching Cowboy look at this bull and watch him just run by. It looked like a scene from a movie. I don't know how that movie's going to end when we get to AT&T Stadium.
That's my next question. Chase, what do you think about what
do you think?
How does this fairy tale story end?
I mean, I'm just gonna go. I mean, I'm looking at. I know one thing. Cowboy ain't gonna back up from him.
I love it.
He's not.
He's not gonna turn loose and back up from him. But you look at how many outs has he had? 17, 18?
A bunch.
Yeah, maybe 20 something. 35, like 20 of the top 35 bull riders on the face of the planet has tied their hand to this son, and only one rode him. So I mean,
And a lot of times they don't get him warmed up.
yeah, and the way he looked last weekend.
Were you there?
No.
You saw footage?
Yeah,
He was at JB's,
I
right?
was watching the live feed. No, it's Salt Lake. I was watching that bull, Twisted Steel. at
Oh,
Salt Lake.
yeah, I heard Twisted Steel's like jacked up.
Oh, yeah, they couldn't. I mean, it's going to be one thing just on him just to get out of the box safely. Like, because that bull's so hair-triggered in there and freaks out in there. So that's going to be.
He doesn't like being in the box.
That's going to be a test on its own, is him getting in and getting out safely and properly to where. Because it's not going to be like them bulls that he's been getting on at JB's. Like, and, he's got a wild till in, and he'll train on these type bulls, but it ain't going to be like the ones he's been getting on that'll just stand there, let him slide up and squeeze with all he's got, before he comes out. No, if you walk up on this bull and you try to just sit down and you try to stick them spurs in him, boy, let me tell you, he's gonna come uncorked in there.
That bull has like basically like what he's talking about, like really quick. It's the equivalent of a guy just flying across the octagon with a flying knee right as soon as they shut the cage door. I mean, it's quick. He wants to get at you and get at you fast.
It makes sense that that's Dana White's bull then.
Right?
It does
But
make
all
sense.
of them, all bulls, like them showing up top notch ones. Animals just like us. They can smell fear and they can sense authority. If they can get your bluff in on you quick, they will. But if you get your bluff in on them, they got a mind just like we do, and you can psych one of them animals out.
I want to know what you think.
What I think's gonna happen?
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah. I'm gonna do something.
I hope he doesn't get hurt.
I know,
You know what I
man,
mean?
he's
Like,
gonna
that's
try
kinda where I'm at.
He's a warrior.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
And he is going to take it to him with everything he's got.
Yeah.
And you better believe that.
And he's also taking it serious. He takes everything he does seriously, so he is training, but he's also got a million other things going on. It's like they fit it into his schedule when he can go train, whereas I think he should be training every day.
He needs to be focusing on this. This is a little bit more than I know it's scheduled, but he needs to make sure this is right, because it ain't like one of them race trucks, them
You can get seriously
garbage
injured.
truck. You know what I'm saying? He controls the throttle on that race truck, and there was always a referee in that cage that could stop something, whether he got too out of hand or somebody got too out of hand.
Yeah.
But when you step over in this cage, and especially when you open the gate, there's no referee. There's no brake pedal. It's all f***ing gas.
The fact that he's doing it makes me want to bet everything I have on Cowboy.
Yes.
It really does. Like, because it's
Can
that
you bet
serious,
on?
man.
Can you bet on?
You know what? We need to
Bet on
figure out a
in
way
Vegas.
to. I'm sure you can bet on everything.
Yeah, right. Betting's kind of crazy.
That's
Bet
one
on
question.
Vegas.
Just
But I
From
might be the
Vegas.
only guy that's betting on Cowboy. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'll bet on
I'm
Cowboy
betting
with
on
you.
him because he
I will.
I'll bet on Cowboy.
100%.
He stepped up and did this. Not like, Chad Ochocinco tried this years ago.
Yeah.
What was it, 09? Oh,
Yeah, it's been a while.
like that.
Yeah, a long time ago.
but he got on a bull that bucked here, but he wasn't no damn Twisted Steel. Like he was, was it Deja Vu?
Deja Blue.
Deja Blue, which he just, you open the gate, he was just nice, would just spin right there in the gate. I mean, just when you want to get on, stop when you get off, walk out. And he didn't even last 2 seconds. I don't think.
That was they gifted him another second and a half.
Yeah.
It lasted. It was quick.
But
But I'm holding the microphone when Cowboy makes this challenge, right?
Yeah, you are.
I'm
You're
sitting
driving
there,
it.
I'm looking at him and I'm wondering, like, is there any hesitation? Is there any backup? Is there any doubt?
100% there's hesitation because me and you were both there in Madison Square Garden, and I saw his look in his eyes when that bull blew by, and he realized that he's really got himself in for this. And you know him very well for a long time.
Yeah.
And he's not going to back down, but I saw him. I'm not going to say he looked scared, but he looked pretty.
But this is one of the baddest dudes
But
God ever
it wasn't
created.
like he backed down. But it was like a realization of like, holy shit, I'm really doing this.
and that's what's
Yeah.
that's what's really dangerous. Because
Yeah.
guys like him, me, us, they can't say we don't get scared. We get scared sometimes, but we know how to harness that, and we know how to use that as fuel, and not let it. We know how to let it work for us and not against us, and that's why we're at the level we are, and that's why he is where he is. Because I guarantee he's been, look, maybe intimidated some guys he fought, but I guarantee it, he knows that it's fight for survival in there, and basically it's the same thing.
well, the weigh-in's a little different.
I
right?
think that
I mean,
but
like,
There ain't no weight classes here.
there ain't no weight class.
But what I was getting back at, he stepped up, and he didn't choose just a little mediocre bull. He chose, he stepped up to the plate, let him hang, and picked. Obviously it was a great deal with collab with Dana White. Obviously that was the big deal, but this bull ain't no middle of the mall or something. This is
You want to be a bear, be a grizzly.
that's right. And he better be a Jeremiah Johnson, some bitch, when it comes to
Guys in the chat, let us know if you think Cowboy Cerrone or Twisted Steely Dana White's bull is going to be the victor. That's May 17th in Dallas.
I think it's
it
the
Dallas?
18th. It's the 18th.
May 18th, AT&T Stadium
Big
in
weekend
Dallas.
for us, man. Huge weekend.
Kid Rock's
Rock,
performing.
May 17th, Kid Rock's not only doing a concert, but he's also completely revolutionizing the entire sport of rodeo. They're going to have a team concept rodeo to kick off our weekend. Kid Rock's doing everything, man. He's putting the plan together. He is. We're going to have a draft here coming up here in a few
I
weeks.
thought you were going to say
For that
draft.
rodeo.
Yeah, I was like, who's riding the giraffe? I rode an elephant
Brittney,
one
would you
time.
ride the giraffe?
Yeah, I would ride a draft.
There
Okay,
might
good.
be.
Can you?
Knowing Kid Rock, there could be anything there.
There's a draft for this rodeo.
There's a draft for the rodeo, yeah.
How do I see about getting in that draft?
You can't. No bull riding.
No bull riding.
Not at the rodeo. Everything else, and I promise you it's going to be cool.
They got Buddy Barrel pickup.
I don't know.
What
They
was
go,
that?
what?
I don't know what he said.
Buddy Barrel pickup. You know
That's
where they
another-
put
What
the
is
barrel-
that?
It's a barrel in the arena at the end, and then
You put your buddy in it and pick
get,
it up?
no, you get on
You
top
ride
of the
down there.
barrel, and you're on a horse, and you run down as fast as you can. You turn that barrel, and whoever's on that barrel has got to jump on and swing on the back of you and your horse, and back across the line, and whoever can do it the fastest.
It's some redneck stuff we
Yeah.
do back in our part of the world.
That wants to go my next question to you, Chase. You have your event.
Yeah, yes, sir.
What's it called?
The Chase Outlaw,
Chuck
Chuck and Buck.
The Chuck and Buck, the Outlaw Gang.
Yes, sir.
And,
It's
and explain to us what's happening in there.
well, it's at an event that takes place in Clinton, Arkansas. It's the National Championship Chuck Wagon races.
Chuck Wagon.
Chuck Wagon races,
Yep.
and
So you're in a wagon.
yeah.
How many
wagon,
horses in front?
2 horses, and then there's a division where they have 4 mules pulling the wagon.
Right.
4 up mules, but they have Oklahoma Land Rush, the buckboard, 4 up mule, big mule, classic division. They do bronc fanning out.
It's
in the
like
middle.
NASCAR, but
It's
our
the
style.
largest equine event on the face of the planet, and it's right there in my backyard. But it's been going on for 39 years. My family's been racing there for 24 consecutive, and they have bucket shoots out in the middle of this pasture, broad open pasture, and they always do bronc fanning out there. Well, I said a bull riding right here would be it. And your spectators be horses and wagons. So we just had bucket shoots set up out in the middle of the field, and horses and wagons, parking coordinated them, and had them stacked in there all around, and made the arena out of people on horses and wagons, and
No fence.
no fences was the name of it. No fences at all. And we buck bulls in the middle of a pasture, and not just amateur bulls. We had Cord McCoy had his bulls, bulls that buck here, bulls that have bucked here, and it was a real deal. Monster, Miss Carrie, she came with Monster, and
Miss Carrie.
yeah, they said it was the most.
I like how polite Cowboys are.
She's the best.
You guys are some of the most polite people I've ever seen, and you guys are some of the craziest people I've ever seen.
Think about what he just said. When you talk about crazy, the spectators
Or the fence?
are the fence.
Yeah, I got that. I said,
So if a bull runs towards a fence here, it's okay. We're on the other side of the fence. If a bull runs towards a fence there, it's like, oh, I'm the fence.
Yeah, you're the fence.
Just think about the fans watching how,
But
how crazy
Monster-
they've
get
got
what
to
you pay
Monster
for.
posted the video.
Get what you pay for
of
on
it
that
on
one.
their
Getting
social
more than you
media.
pay
So
for.
anybody
Right.
listening, go on Monster. So
I'm gonna pull up a video of it here in a minute. But
fences.
after the break, I'm gonna pull up a video of it, and we're gonna show, because we got a lot of people in here are asking what the hell is a Chuck Wagon?
All they got to Google is just Chuck Wagon races, Clinton, Arkansas. I know they got their phone in their hand.
Yeah, they technically do, or their computer.
it's a throwback, man. I mean, everything you saw in the movies, like in the old westerns,
Yeah.
where they would run across the country in like the old canvas covered wagons with the wooden wheels. It's a throwback. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about.
I mean, it's 10 days long. You get out there and you camp all week, and you just enjoy yourself. You can go back to, you can leave all this crazy bullshit that's in this world behind for about 10 days, and you can go back and just really get back to the roots and just enjoy yourself. Have great family cookings, drink. I mean,
You can drink
all the
Beast.
moonshine
Beast.
all the moonshine you could drink.
What kind?
That sounds
Great
like paradise.
cooking. They'd have concerts
Sounds like
every
heaven.
night.
Can we
I
get
mean, it's
Brittney on a Chuck Wagon?
I
I
guarantee
could do a
it.
Chuck Wagon.
I guarantee it.
I think you in that outfit down there, you would be fine.
Me in this outfit anywhere would probably be
And
I was
fine.
just like, you in that outfit down there, you're going to need
Materials.
security.
And no, I ain't
Extra
talking
security.
about like people just imagine them wagons too. Like the when you races, they're hooked up. I mean, fast running.
And it's dangerous.
Original. Yeah, oh yeah. Somebody dies here every year.
Wait, what?
Yeah, somebody dies here every year.
From
I mean,
drinking or from
that too.
racing?
But more in the races, and more people get
man.
wiped out like spectators on their horses. I mean, because everybody comes and you come and ride your horses.
So it's guaranteed that a spectator is going to die?
No, not going to
guaranteed?
die. Like,
I'll
no,
buy your ticket.
Like
Thanks, Matt.
Like
This
a
is
racer,
something we would have done
somebody-
back in the day.
Yeah, we've
exactly
done some.
right.
Yeah, and I would have died.
Yeah, we'd like to put ourselves in danger.
Well,
We
this
went
is-
crocodile hunting once.
This is
Really?
bull riding
Dumbest thing we
intense,
ever
but
did. We
that
took a
tough
film
riding
crew
race is pretty
crocodile hunting.
intense.
So
And it's not. No, go ahead.
no.
Yeah, it's pretty damn intense. You never know what to expect.
You
Like
say-
I said, it's over. It'll be over 20,000 people riding horses.
Wow.
Yeah.
You say that's the dumbest thing you've ever done. So
August 29th.
August 29th is my bull riding.
Yep, this year.
That whole event lasts the weekend before Labor or the week before Labor Day, and it goes on, and then the races are Labor Day weekend. My event's the Thursday before Labor Day at Clinton, Arkansas, at the Bar OF Ranch.
it's awesome.
So
It's
what I was
cool.
getting at is that people that listen are probably thinking like old Yellowstone wagons. What? Yeah, that's like the ones we race, but we also, I mean, there's wagons there.
Is there tricked out wagons?
Oh, there's tricked out wagons.
Like
I got a
speakers? Yeah,
buddy.
like
Is
I got
that
a buddy.
tricked out wagon?
I got a buddy that's
subwoofers.
Yeah,
The
wagons?
Method Man.
Yeah.
He's
I got a
gonna show up
buddy.
in-
that's
No,
got
no,
a wagon.
Exhibit.
It's about
exhibit.
22 foot long, and he's got a big old set of big thoroughbreds that and quarter horse crosses that he pulls this thing with. I don't know how many subwoofers this got on it, how many strobe lights, LEDs, but it's jacked up. It's got big mud tires, and
Like
it's-
people do with their boats at the
and
lake.
and it's monster green, and it's got lights. We had 34, 35 people on that sumbitch this year at Clinton. I mean, you talking about riding and bumping and partying at 2:00 in the morning on your wagon.
And it's moving.
So, oh yeah, and so there's a place called the Buffalo Rock. It's a great big old rock, big rocks. It's about 20 foot in the air, and there's a big giant metal buffalo on top. Well, that's like the party congregation spot. So this ranch is on 5,000 acres. People camp. There's 100,000 people there camping. So, and about 20 of them probably on horses. So they'll all be there at this rock, and they'll be just around this big rock. And I mean, as far as you can turn around and see, just stacked in there deep, and they'll be there partying all night. And then you can leave there and be riding all around this place, and it's unreal, man, unreal. People looking and YouTube this, it'll be unlike anything you've ever seen. I've been around the world twice, both directions.
Which direction was faster?
I can't remember.
Clockwise.
I'm still on the second lap of the second.
Yeah, second lap of the second.
But I've been all over the world, Dingo. And I've seen some crazy shit. But the craziest thing that I've ever witnessed in my life has happened at this place over this week. I mean, it's unreal. And I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's not just all a big party. I mean, it's all about your family. And like our campsite is, man, we have a big, huge campsite. All the kids, we have big cookings every morning, big breakfast, big lunches, big suppers, and and we do have fun. But it's all about getting back to being a cowboy. And
I like that.
But he touched on something, and I know that this resonates with you, and I hope it resonates with everybody that's watching. At the core of everything we do, as wild and as crazy as the life can get, and as big as the party gets, it's all about that family feeling, right? You know, like the people you surround yourself with. It's just like this, like it's family, and that's what that's about. That's what this sport's about. When you go in the locker room with these bull riders, they understand the dangers and the magnitude of what they do. And that's why everybody in that locker room feels like family. We show up every single weekend to a different city, call it a traveling circus, call it a carnival, whatever it is.
But I think it is a traveling circus in the best way possible.
100%. But for us, it's family. When we show up at the
it's your
airport,
family.
we get to the arena, it's like we're home. No matter what city we're in, we're with our people.
Yeah, 100%.
I love it.
Danny was a little worried this morning that
I just noticed
either
these clothes on.
the bulls might get turned on by his hat. Matt, you're no stranger to coming and having fun here. Where are the actual what are you laughing at, Chase?
He's singing lyrics.
You
to a
said,
song.
you know, stranger, and I said, to the rain.
And that is Chase Outlaw. We're gonna drop some video here. If you guys have never seen Chase ride a bull, this is some footage of him and others riding bulls. Currently working with a bit of a broken leg.
Oh, it was a full-fledged.
Compound.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you heard.
What's going on in your head right here?
Nothing. Just thinking,
I believe that.
I mean, just ride. I mean, but right there, I mean, you're thinking,
Whoa.
it was when you're in the zone and you're up there, sometimes it's so hectic and crazy, it's just all going by so fast. But when you're riding at the top of your game and you're in the zone, you can sit up there and you can hear people, you can pick out and you can specifically hear people on the back of the bucket chute talking. Like you can hear yourself and you can react to what you're thinking of, like in through your mind, and you can talk to yourself. Like you can talk to yourself while you're riding. And then when you're in that zone, it's like you need a sandwich up there.
So like right
You
there,
need
when
a
you're-
sandwich?
when you're watching that right there, like everything's quiet. Like can you kind of build a bubble around you to
Yes,
where
and it's
everything?
quiet,
yeah.
but I could only hear the bullfighters or
Right.
and,
What?
and I've been able to specifically pick out like a scream in the crowd before.
Really?
Like I've heard that, and
That whole like being in the eye of the hurricane where it's like supposed to be a cone of like silence.
Yeah.
I've heard so many guys talk about that, and
It
it's hard
is.
for me to imagine that you can be in an arena with however many thousand people are going to be here, and everything just be silent.
yeah, but like just like when you're hitting that rope up, and then when you're sliding up, I mean, you can't hear nothing. All you're hearing is your thought. I mean, you don't even think when to nod. You don't think when to shake your head. Like when you slide up there, your body knows when it's
Repetition.
in that spot, and it's just reaction, like to know. And it like you said, it's a
For you, is that the key to clear everything out? Like completely clear your mind
you
when you're doing
but
this?
when you're at the top of it, you don't have to do that. It does it automatically. But and when you're like struggling, you know, to be at the top, you do have to tell yourself, all right, block all that out. But when you're at the top of your game, it just flows, and
Yeah.
you don't have
just
to think
happens.
about it.
Before you're in that moment, right, and you're riding it and the gate opens, how much control like do you have of getting the bull clear out of the gate? Is there like tactic to move it, or is
It's
it just,
really, yeah, it is. It's all you and your buddies, and it's a 3-man show, really. I mean, you need somebody as crazy as these boys are. You need somebody up there running the gate at the front to get that bull's attention, to make him stand up thinking he's going to roll. When they get to squatting a little bit, you got to have a guy pull your rope, and then you got to have a guy spotting you. And so when that guy's pulling your rope, he can step over, and if that bull's leaning or whatever, you can work and you can walk with them bulls and put pressure and walk and get them up if you want to. There's some guys that don't, and they just sit there and just expecting, just waiting for the bull to stand up like a dog at a dog show and say, all right, let's go. But the guy that steps over that pulls your rope, he can assist you and reach through there and push him off of you, help turn his head a little bit to make him take his weight off a leg and step up. So like I said, we're not competing against really each other. We're competing against the bull.
Yeah.
And if you beat me or I beat you, it's either because one of us did our job or didn't, or if we both did our job, it's just because one of us had a little bit better of a bull.
And then one other thing I was wondering is like, so when it's in, the gate opens, right? What are you watching certain signs of the bull's muscles to see like where and kind of anticipate where it's going to go? Or are you reacting every split second?
It's just all reaction. So my neighbor, he flew F-16s and Apache helicopters in Desert Storms. He got shot down just right inside enemy lines doing an airstrike. And he had to survive like 2 weeks in there and finally made it out. But his sergeant or whatever told him when he came out, he's like, Cooley, he said a select few is woven in only a select few people's DNA where they can remain calm and handle themselves in the midst of the storm. And he said, you're one of them. And then after one of my accidents, Cooley, that Denver guy, he told me that. And that guy's out there and he's a veteran and whatever. But that is one thing that he said to me. And I was like, dang, you're absolutely right. There is only a select few. And that's what separates the men from the boys is being maintain yourself the whole time in the storm. Any of these guys can do it for the first 2 seconds, first 3, 4, 5 seconds, but them guys that get to the point where it's sink or swim, there's only a select few of us that will go down sinking and still come out on top. But there's some guys that choose path to swim more of the times than they do to sink. Well, they might be here, but they ain't up here.
Chase has one of the greatest stories, in my opinion, in the history of all of sports. Like, I really think it should be a 30 for 30 documentary or something like that, you know, because he had an accident happen in an arena that would have caused most people to never even buy a ticket to this sport again. And when was that? Talk me through that.
July in 2018 at Cheyenne, Wyoming.
And tell everybody what happened.
So, 2018 Cheyenne is the last Cowboy standing. A bull jerked me down and hit me in my face. I wasn't wearing a helmet. It hit me in my face. Broke over 30 bones in my face. That night I had a 14-hour reconstructive facial surgery, which within 75 days, I came back to riding with a helmet on. I was like 75th in the world. There was 3 events left in the season. I came back, finished no worse than fourth at them 3 events. Came in at the Velocity Finals, won the Velocity Finals, won the year end of the Velocity Tour, then came into the World Finals, finished 3rd at the PBR World Finals that year, and ended up like 15th in the world, 16th in the world. And then came back 2019, got to Cheyenne again to where I got hurt the very next year at the last Cowboy standing, and I won that event. Was PBR's last Cowboy standing at that event.
In the arena where he should have retired.
And then finished 3rd in the world that year.
Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that. 14 hours in complete facial reconstruction.
And then after the 2018 World Finals, I had to have another surgery, like another 8-hour surgery to take the pins and plates out from where my face done grew. And they had to modify and make all these plates with, it's kind of like a 3D printer, but with titanium. They made all these plates, so you have to do x-ray and then make all these measurements, and had all the plates already pre-made, took the stuff that was in there out, re-put new stuff that's all in there now.
But that's why I do what I do. And that's why I love this sport so much, because a guy like that he spends 14 hours on an operating table having his face completely redone, and all he thinks about is, how can I get back to reach my goal? And 75 days later, he's back riding bulls again, and not only just showing up and getting on, but competing at a level that gets him back inside the qualifications to get to the World Finals, and then comes back a year later to that same arena where it all should have ended in a lot of people's minds, and not just shows up and competes, wins the damn thing. Like, that's a Hollywood story if I've ever heard.
One of the hardest standalone events to win.
Yeah.
Chase, I want to know, what is that? What is that drive that you have? If you can put that into words, like that passion or that hunger to keep going, is it something that you can express maybe for people to understand?
Man, if we could really put it into words, we'd be all millionaires. But it's really, it's just the passion of the sport. And like you said, fear is taught. And we knew what we was signing up for when I started. Heck, I had stitches put in my head and stitches when I was 12 years old from doing this. And I mean, so it ain't that we're dumb. It's just that we're passionate about something. And I mean, you're not going to let a little injury, set you back, because with time, that will heal.
Yeah. With
time, that will heal. And you just got to, some guys haven't been able to come back from injuries. And, but I've always trusted in this God that he's going to keep me safe. I mean, and what won't break you will build you. And I'm thankful for every experience I've ever had with anything, because I wouldn't be the person I am today.
It's really just having that passion for the sport, that passion for doing what you love.
And really just for whatever you do. I mean, yeah, I just love this sport, everything there is about it, it's really we're the last real gladiators.
100%, man. Like last night, we had pro BMXers, pro snowboarders, pro motocross riders. They're all sitting here watching, filming, and they're all in their craft. They're the best at what they do. And they're looking at you guys being like, these guys are it. These are the toughest guys. Like, these are guys that are created tricks, flips. Their bike goes down. They break bones. They know how it is to break bones. But they're all saying, hey, like, the craziest thing about bull riding is that, like coming from a snowboarder or a motocross rider or a BMXer, they're in control. They're in control of the bike. They're in control of the snowboard. They're in control of their destiny. Whereas you guys, it's you and a bull, and you're not in control of the bull.
No,
the bull's job is to buck you. And I think watching these athletes and their admiration towards you guys is I would say, you know, this and I don't know, riding a MotoGP bike might be the two gnarliest things that you can possibly look to do in this world. And I think this is one of the toughest sports in the world. And watching other athletes give that admiration, it's you can see it, and you see it on TV and you see it on the screen and you see how gnarly it is. But when you see it in person and you see that bull breathing and that last second of like before the gate open, it's like, holy shit.
You just see the muscles
in
these bulls.
Yeah.
And the sheer magnitude of their athleticism, how big they are. And you think about, you know, not just throw away the dangers, but like you said, the willingness, because it's our human nature to want to be in control of everything.
100%.
Everything. I want to be in control of traffic when I'm driving to the gym here in LA or whatever.
How was Golds today, by the way?
Golds was awesome. Traffic was, But anyways.
It's Saturday traffic. That's no traffic day.
It's not bad. It wasn't bad. It's a 30-minute drive. But we want to control everything we do in life. And the fact that they're willing to just let that go completely out the window and say, I got to focus on what I've got to do and maintain my emotions while I let this animal do what he's going to do. And I just got to react to it. Like, to me, I think that's part of it that gets overlooked a lot is just the sheer letting go of that control.
That's right. And I think that's one of the reasons why we thrive for that so much is, because we know you're not control. And then when you do conquer a 2,000-pound bull that's trying to buck you off, and then sometimes, I mean, some of these bitches are freaking man killers. I've seen them.
There's a bull called Man Hater.
I've seen them these guns run after you and paw at you. I've had one bite me on the foot in the buck and shoot. I mean, I've had them as soon as the whistle blows, as soon as the guy would go to get off, I've seen bulls just stop and look. Go right by the bullfighter.
I remember you.
I've seen bulls that have run around a bullfighter to run down the bull rider. But when you can slide up there and you crawl up amongst the 1,800-pound bull, and he's got 3-foot, 4-foot horns on each side, and they're up in your face, and you crawl up amongst them, and you open the gate. I mean, and when you conquer that, and really when you set up and you ride him with authority, and like when you kick loose and expose your free leg, I mean, that's riding with that gun with authority. And when you step off, I mean, there ain't nothing like it. I mean, you just conquered a 2,000-pound beast that's trying to buck you off.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that you
once you've conquered it, right? What is the exit strategy as far as like okay,
hell.
I got 8 seconds.
Don't stop till you're on the fence.
Don't stop till you're but getting off the bull. Is there like a time you wait? Do you wait till it like goes fully up and then you try and get the exit and let go?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's a perfect time and sequence with it all. Like when that bull's up in there, you ain't wanting to let go. And I mean, you're wanting to do it in rhythm when that bull's bucking. So when his front end comes down, you want to be bucking him and say when he comes up and when he's coming down, that's when you want to be stepping off and go with him on his graceful down. You don't want to be getting off when he's trying to come up. You don't want to be getting off when he's trying to come up. You want to
but there's also a pattern if a bull's going in a certain direction. You want to go.
Yeah, you want to try to get off always, not into the spin, but out of the spin.
Out of it. Out of the circle.
You don't want to go against gravity.
And the bullfighters, they try to take them bulls out of your spin. So you always want to try to get off into your hand. So if you ride left-handed, you want to get off on the left side most of the time. And so them bullfighters can get them and they can take them bulls and make them turn away from that guy's hand. But basically how we do this, I don't see how anybody could do this and not be spiritually and believe in God and not think that, I mean, because
You got to believe in some.
yeah, I mean, you got to, because that's who really gives you the strength too to do this. It ain't just all you, because human can get down on himself pretty good, but when you got somebody, you know, else, and like you said, that's why you run around the people you run with. Iron sharpens iron. You don't,
Yeah.
you know, sheep don't hang out with damn wolves, or cats and dogs don't hang out.
Dismounting a bull is exactly like my skiing.
How's your skiing,
You
man?
want to go
Pizza,
the
French
opposite
fry,
direction.
pizza,
My
French fry.
skis would go this way. I would exit this way. That's the exact plan for getting off a bull. Let the bull go this way and exit this. Terrible.
Terrible.
Worst
They call that a
experience.
yard sale.
Is it? Is that what it is?
When you
Where
lose
just
everything.
Throw everything out there and
You,
go the
you,
other
you don't
way?
intentionally throw it out there. It just all potentially peels off.
Oh, it was the.
We don't have yard sale on a snowboard because we're stuck to the snowboard.
Then see,
But skiing, you can lose everything.
It's called catching the lip and then a shit whip, right?
Yeah, or tomahawk, we kind of call it, where you kind of end over end over end over
Danny,
end.
Danny had a question about shit, actually.
I did?
Danny.
I don't know. I don't remember the shit one, but I will say it takes big bulls
Well,
to do this.
Bulls or balls?
I don't know if we're on air or off
But
air.
speaking of
I
the big
think-
bulls,
I don't know if we're on air or off air, but most cowboys, if they're a real bull rider, they ride without underwear. Is that
We
true?
were-
No, they don't wear
Yeah.
underwear. No, when I was a little kid,
no underwear.
my uncle would mess with me and he said, Chase, he said, no, real cowboys don't wear underwear. And I was like 5 years old. They said, we was in the hayfield. They said, I stripped down, took my underwear off right there. They said, well, I'm a real cowboy. So that's
It hadn't changed since.
No,
It hadn't looked back since.
Same jeans.
Full steam ahead.
How often do like new bulls come into the series?
It feels like every week. Sometimes,
Every week.
Like and
Because-
honestly,
This is a great way to put this. When a bull's born, calved on the ground, in 3 years, 3.5, 4 years, that bull can be bucking at this level, highest level in the world for a bull to be bucking. Takes 18 years for a cowboy from the time he's born till he can ever buy his card to ride here.
There was a
So you-
17-year-old out there last night.
18.
No,
Oh, he's 18. You got to be 18.
You've got to
gotta
be
be
18 to compete.
So you think about that. So there's so many bulls that's coming throughout that are fresh, way fresher than what the groups of guys are coming in. Because like I said, it takes 18 years for a guy to be able to ride at this level. And
And the bulls don't buck every weekend. The bulls actually
They get time off?
The guys don't. They gotta
Right.
compete every single week. But every week there's new bulls, okay? And that's what the core of what we do. I want to be able to say, I'm talking about the best bull riders in the world. And I can only say that if they're getting on the best bulls, the best competition. Kobe couldn't say he was the best player in the world unless he was going against the other greatest players on the court, right?
Right.
And so we're constantly seeing new bulls, bringing in the new ones, the fresh ones, the best ones that are available at that time.
I want to
And-
know what's the conditioning for the bulls? Like when they're not obviously out
Yeah.
there, like how do they condition them? I know they're the first ones to eat in the
Oh,
morning,
Rachel.
but what do
it's
they got to do?
interesting. Yeah, it's just like our guys. They have workout regimens.
Yeah.
They have routines, like daily routines. A lot of these guys I've seen where they'll build a hill up to where they feed, so that those bulls are climbing
Nice.
uphill, and that's a workout. You know, they're working out those front shoulders, working out those muscles.
that ain't got facilities, like you said, they'll feed way over here. And if they got
No, it's new.
if they'll feed way over here, and if they got a big property, they'll make sure they feed as farthest away from where they water.
Mhm.
So that way that animal has to take longer steps to go to the things that he needs.
And for these bulls, the tendency is to see them get a little fatter than they're supposed to be, instead of being too skinny, right? And so just like any other athlete, they'll have alleyways built where they'll get out and they'll exercise them. They'll get big round pins where they'll kind of move them around and let them get exercise. No different than a fighter's cutting weight going into a fight, right? They'll do the same exact things. They'll get them back on that hill. They'll get them back running up and down that alley, running in a circle, just trying to get them conditioned so that they are prepared, because it's a dangerous sport for both athletes out here. And if you're not physically prepared, that's where injuries come into play. So they want them to be as precise, even down to what they feed. Every single bull owner has a different idea of what's best to put in that athlete. And so the protein levels.
And each bull will be fed something different.
Absolutely.
So what's Dana
It's-
White's bull eating? Because that one.
Same thing Cowboy's on right now.
Hey, whatever,
They're on the same diet regimen.
whatever he has banned from
Supplement.
USC fighters,
Yeah.
is probably what he has in that bull.
Yeah.
But Chase Fouch and Marty Fouch, I believe they've always had the strongest looking bulls I've ever seen. But they've had good bloodline bulls. But they have a facility that they swim their bulls.
Yep.
It's a upright, totally enclosed wall, and it comes around, and it's got a little deal that comes behind them bulls, and it'll push them to make them keep going, and it gradually tears down into a big swim tank where just their head are deep enough for their head to be out of the water, and they got to swim, and it's like 30 yards or so that they got to swim until they come up out of it, and they'll walk around that deal, come back, and have to swim again.
Yeah, wow.
And, them bulls that they've always would bring, it would just be
Jacked.
hard
Are-
as f***ing sheet
are they-
metal.
Are there bulls you look forward to riding and bulls you don't look forward to riding?
Yeah, but when you draw them, I mean, it's no choice. You got to ride them.
Yeah.
It's time to.
But are there like bulls you're like, I got that one. That bull ain't got shit.
But then there's some that's like, fuck, man, that's a kind of a piece of shit, really. I don't. But if you got him, I mean, you ain't got no choice.
But there's some back there that make your mouth water. When
Oh
you
yeah,
watch
there's
them,
some that's just like, boy, let me have him. Yeah,
And then
like there's some that, yeah.
what about like the first few rides?
I know where you're going.
As like as an athlete, Chase, is it like do you guys, is it like scary to ride a bull for the first time but it hasn't been ridden yet?
You know what the best way to find out the answer to that question
Ride
is
the bull?
to get on a bull that's never been ridden. So tonight we'll put you on one.
No,
So
not
you
me.
know the
I'm
answer,
asking,
right?
I'm asking the
I know, but like just find out firsthand.
We could go tandem, Danny.
yeah.
Oh.
I don't trust any of these guys. I think they'd be like, oh, take Sterling Fox. That's a real easy one. And then
That's
it comes out and it's like,
That's a really good motto to live
man-eater.
by. Just don't trust any of these guys.
I don't trust them. They
Nah.
put me on the scariest one. Be like, you got this.
I wouldn't
one.
do that to you,
She's
man.
real tame.
I got a question in the chat. It says, "What is the gnarliest bull you've ever ridden?"
That's a tough one. I know there's been a bull called Legit. He was, that son weighed about probably 1,900 pounds, and he had 4-foot horns on each side, and he was meaner than a.
I just want
That's
to
meaner than a cane brake rattler. I tell you what.
My favorite Chase Outlaw
Um,
expression, you mentioned expressions. I'm doing an interview one time, and he looked at me dead in the eye, and he said, "You know what you do when you get a foot on your tiger's throat?" No, Chase, I don't. He said, "You keep it there.
I said, no, you don't let that motherfucker up, because if you do, more likely he's gonna eat you.
You don't let him up." And I was like, "Oh, of course."
Mhm.
But that's the mentality they have, right? Is like, hey, once you get that momentum, take on the biggest, baddest dudes ever. Let's just keep going, keep that pedal to the metal.
Why 8 seconds in competition? Where do the 8 seconds come from?
Because 7's not long enough and 9's too long. I have no that's the $1 million question, right? Nobody knows the answer to it. So I got to go back.
There's no answer.
There is no answer.
Like
And
this goes
who
back
came
to
up
the
with 8
history of the
seconds?
first rodeo there's ever, like the first rodeo ever documented. I think they did that, and there's no reason. It don't say this is why we chose
Right.
to ride 8 seconds.
in my opinion, it's kind of like that old game, Name That Tune. Well, I can name that tune in 5 notes. I can name that tune in 6 notes. And I got to believe that back in the day, these ranchers were just kind of going back and forth. I got a cowboy that's this tough. I got a bull that's this tough, whatever. And it just started out like my guy can ride longer than your guy. And like they just settled at 8 seconds. I have no idea. I don't know anybody that knows. There's a million myths and stories.
I know
out
why.
there. What is it?
It's because 8 seconds on the biggest bull will feel like an eternity.
It did. I promise you.
Infinity.
I promise you.
You know what I mean?
The infinity symbol.
The infinity symbol. That's
Nailed
it.
it.
Deep.
I promise you.
Real
That's
deep,
it. That's
Danny.
got to be it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Chase Outlaw, you're a legend, dude. Heal up, and we can't wait to see you back on the bull. And August 29th, I'll be with you. I look forward to getting in the back of, maybe I'll bring Brittney with me, and she can
Yeah.
Chuck Wagon with me.
I guarantee
Do
it.
it.